Well, well, well. Today, what do you suppose today is all about? Yes, I'm going to be painting these doors. And before I start painting the doors, I laid them all out. And Momi, she came by here yesterday and she cleaned these on both sides and on the edges and everything. She cleaned all of these doors here. She still has to work on cleaning these doors. I usually use Simple Green. She doesn't like using Simple Green for some reason. She's using Mr. Clean. She's using that and she's gonna clean these doors both sides, front and back, and then we've got to go back and what I'm going to do is I'm going to feel on here, and if I see any little imperfections, I'm going to take that and scrape that off with my putty knife, and then we're going to sand these. And then after we sand them, lightly sand them, we're just going to lightly sand it so it etches the surface of this. That way the next coat of paint, the new coat of paint, will stick on here really nice. I could probably paint these without lightly sanding them, but I'm going to go ahead and sand them. And I've got some 2x4s here, and I'm going to cut the 2x4s, little 6-inch blocks. I'm going to split that in half. I'm going to take those blocks, lift the door up, and put them underneath there. But before I do that, I also got to get my craft paper down. I got to put craft paper along here and get them all set up. And I'll do that, I guess, after I sand the doors. Okay, I'll get it all set up, and I'll kind of show you, you know, what I've done and all that kind of stuff. And the thing is too, I took off all the hinges. Here's all the hinges, and I was thinking about saving these and putting them back on. Well, first, these things are about 10 years old. They look, you know, fairly decent. I'd have to clean this off, and we've got paint on here, and these are older hinges, and the hinge pin is starting to wear a little bit on the inside, and every time you open and close the door, it spits out little dust from here, and it's gotten it all over the doors, and that was one thing that I told Momi to kind of watch on the edge here. She's got to clean on there because a lot of these had a lot of gunk on here from the hinges, and whoever put these hinges on initially, I don't know if you can see a line up here. See this line right here from here to there? It looks like it hasn't even been painted. Well, they had the hinges on here. They had the hinge on like that, and then somebody went around and they caulked the back of it, every single hinge. And I'm like, what the heck? And that's what these lines are. See this? It's the caulking. And all of that caulking would have to be scraped off of the hinge, and I started scraping one. Look at this. This stuff's been on here for at least 9 years. When you try to scrape these off and everything, look at all the paint that's on here. You try to clean that off, and then it starts scratching the surface of this and stuff. And you know what? We're trying to do this quick, and if we had more time, I could probably soak these in water and do a good job. But every time you scrape on there, you're going to see the scratch marks. So we decided, what do you suppose we decided? Went to Home Depot and we thought, let's just get new hinges. So that's what we did. We got this very same hinges, and they've got three different types of hinges that are the same size as this. One, see how this has a short curve on it right there, a little radius. There's another hinge, the same layout and everything, with a bigger rounded corner. Then there's one with just square, straight, tight corners. So you've got to be careful which one you get at the store, so you get the very same one. Okay, so we went to the store and we were lucky. We needed 27 of these hinges And we found them like that. They're brand new, brand spanking new. So they've got nice greased hinge pins on here, not the old dirty ones and dry ones that spit dust out of here. And they're not as sloppy, because after a while, this hinge pin wears out the inside of these knuckles. Okay, and I can see on here, there's already scratch marks on here before even doing anything. And you know, if you want to clean all these and spend all the extra time for this. See, here's some marks here. And lots of the top ones have paint on them and stuff. You want to spend hours and hours cleaning all these hinges. That's fine. You can do that if you want, and then reuse your old hinges. But the new hinges were $2.37 each, and so we thought, fooey on the old ones. Let's just get new ones. And the same thing. See these little finger poles. Now let's see, there's one here where, okay, where is it? Oh, it must be this one. Must be this one. Nope. Where is it? Where is the one that I'm looking for? Okay, it's one of these. Not that one. It's got to be this one. Yeah. See the finger pole? It's not there, is it? That's because I took it out. I took it out. I thought maybe I can take these out very carefully, and then that way when I paint, I can just paint with a paint roller straight over that. But it got all messed up when I pulled it out. There was no way I could save it. And so I thought, you know, I'm gonna take one of the old ones, and I took the one to the hardware store, and they had the exact same size. I figured they did, because to paint around that without getting any paint on there, you've got to use a little paintbrush and cut this all in. Then with my roller, I've got to stop my roller here, stop it over here, stop it over here, stop it over here, around there. It just makes it really difficult. So I'm gonna end up pulling all these out. And like I say, they're gonna bend and stuff, and then I'll just jerk them out with a putty knife and a pair of pliers. I'm gonna pull those out, and then we're gonna put new ones on that. Okay, so that's my project today, and I think I can get all of these done today. You see this one here, it's over here behind where the washer and dryer is. I'm gonna have to reset that up, and I think I'll set it up right over here. So I've got it all lined up so that once I start painting, I can just keep going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. And my thought is, with the semi-gloss, it dries. It'll dry pretty quickly. By the time I paint all of these doors, if I start, I might start left to right, whatever. But once I start, boom, 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 and get all of these painted, by the time I get to the end, guess what? These will be probably dry enough to where I can lift them, flip them around, get them all set up so that I can paint the other side. And I can do all of those today. And I'm thinking, after I paint, I think I might just paint the edges the very first thing. That way, I'm gonna take a little mini roller, hold the door out away from the wall a little bit so that I can do the edges. When you do that, the edge with the mini roller, it might have a tendency to want to get the paint rubbed off over on this, on the face. So you just have to be careful not to load up your roller too much to where you get a line going down on both sides. So, you know, I'll take a little bit of extra time on the edges because I don't want to fill up where the door latch goes, because if you get a little bit too much paint in there, guess what? It starts running. It starts running here when you least expect it. So once you do the edges, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to jump back and kind of take a look at that, because if you get a little run and if it's still wet enough, you can blend that in. But if you wait later, that line is going to dry. Then you've got to scrape it off, and then you've got to repaint. And sometimes you might see that. So if I saw a line here that went from here down, I'd have to scrape that off, and then I would probably paint from here all the way down, so you didn't see the mark. And see, I'm going to have to be careful with it where the hinges are too. Just that little ledge. You build up too much paint on that, and it will run down here. So I've got to be careful around the hinges. I have to be careful right around this too, so I don't get too much paint drops off here. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos. I'm sure you're going to want to see the progress on how this is coming along and what it looks like step by step before we put this for sale.